Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the Asteroids game in C++ series, and in this video, as I said before, I originally intended to make the asteroids bounce off each other when they hit each other. However, I was playing the original game and I realized in the actual game they do not actually bounce off each other. Instead, the asteroids just pass through each other if they collide. So I decided we'll leave it at that for the moment, and tell me in the comments if you actually want to do that. But in the original game, the asteroids just pass through each other, they did not bounce off. So we are going to move on in this video, and in this video we'll implement a main menu kind of screen for our game. And in order to get started doing that, we have got a boolean here called if game over that we use to render our if game over menu, game over menu. So that works. However, we also want to have a main menu for which a single boolean is no longer enough. Instead, we'll replace this with an enum, which will call state, and it will contain a bunch of different types like menu, playing, or game over. These are the three states that our game can be in. Now we'll replace this by state equal game over, and when the game is over, we'll set the state equal game over, and in the begin method, we'll set our state to be playing. And that works quite well. And now we'll like to do menu here as well. First of all, let's go ahead and run this and see whether it actually works at all, because we changed a couple of things. Let us see if it still works like it did before. So let's it still gives an error. It gives an error because we have not got that done. So we'll just go here and copy that. Actually, you can see that we have got this here, so it might be better to actually make it a proper enum. We'll just name it as game state, for example, and not an unnamed enum. So what we will do is just copy this. Actually, no need to copy, we can just say game state here, game state, and we'll say game colon is over. Actually, not game colon is over, it will be game colon state. So let's do that, and it says that it did not work. Well, it probably the reason it did not work is because this is supposed to be like game colon game state perhaps, but we are not going to, since we are doing game colon, we are going to remove the game state here and instead just name it state. Okay, that works quite well. We have got a game state here, and that should work. So let's run this and see if our program, our game is still working like it was working in the previous video. And if all is well, then we can move on to doing the other stuff. So let's go ahead and run that. If it's working, then we can implement our menu quite simply by just having another state here. So you can see I collide and it stays game over, and I press enter and it starts the game again, and it does work. And it gives an error here. Now it only gives that error occasionally, not always, for some reason, as far as I know. Yeah, you can see it for some reason gives that error to me on Visual Studio on when I start the game. It is also giving on some other programs, so I have a feeling that this is a compiler bug, nothing that you should worry about. So we have got this, and for the actual menu, we'll go ahead and first of all, let's go ahead and copy this to at least, because we don't need to clear it unless the game is running. So we'll just we'll paste this here, and when we are clearing our window, that is quite nice, but we'd like to first of all also check if the game state is equal to our menu. So we'll just say if state actually equals menu, and if that's the case, actually not make time, we'll check if our state is equal to menu. And if that's the case, then we want to render the menu, but after rendering the menu, we are just going to return, since we don't want to render anything else. And actually, I'm going to take this window to clear, and this is a program specific thing. We are going to do it here and not in the actual games update function. We are going to not do that here. Okay, and we have got this, and now we need to draw the menu here. One thing I'm going to do is in the init, we are going to set our state to be equal to let's just set it equal to menu by default. So we start in the menu state, and what you should see is that if I do start in the menu state, nothing goes on my screen and I'm not able to play the game, because currently our menu is completely like uninteractable. But let's see if it's setting the state correctly. it is not actually setting the state correctly. The reason for that is pretty simple, which is that it's calling begin immediately after it calls init. However, we are not going to do that. We'll remove the begin call here, and the begin will now be called by the menu. So when the menu is the kind of when the user presses like play, the play key or something of that sort, then the menu will automatically call the begin function, and until that we won't call the begin method at all. So now all that's left to do is to implement the actual menu and its controls. So in order to implement the menu, first we'll create two variables called menu text and play text, which will represent the the menu text will represent like the game title, and the play text will represent like we can say for the actual text that is going to tell the user to press enter to play. Now we'll go here, and first of all let's go ahead and down here in the end of the init method I'm going to set our state to be menu. Now let's go ahead and define the menu text up here and go down where we are doing this, and we are going to just draw our menu text. Now that's pretty awesome, but we are going to go under init method, and we are going to make sure that we are going to copy the game over text initialization thing, and we are going to rename this to menu text, and I'm going to change the actual text to be the game title Asteroids, and we are going to position it to 280 because Asteroid is a smaller size, so we need to kind of position it a bit in front to kind of make it in the center. So that should draw the menu text. Alright, now for the play text we are going to first of all define it here, then we'll copy the code for the continue text and paste this here, and then we'll just rename this to play text because the menu and the game over screens are pretty similar apart from the actual text. We'll of course say press enter to play, not continue. You can actually also use the continue text here because press enter to continue is pretty good as well, but we'll have it separate text here. And we'll just say window.draw play text, and since our play text is instructing the user to press enter in order to play the game, we'll go here and check if the keyboard key is pressed of enter. If the enter key is pressed, we are going to just call the begin function, and let's run that. You can see that it says Asteroids, press enter to play. As soon as I press enter, the game starts, and that works quite well. One thing I have changed is that I have renamed the menu text to be title text, since that makes more sense, and the menu text is going to be another text. I've defined it in the header file as well, and this text is going to allow the user to quit to the menu when the game is over. For that we'll go here, and when we are like drawing the window, we'll say window.draw. We'll also draw drawing the game over screen window, I mean. So we'll draw menu text here as well, and for the initialization we'll go up here and basically copy the continue text initialization, but we'll change this to press escape to exit to menu, the actual text, and we'll change the position to 430 because it's a larger size. And one thing is though that you can see we're setting the score is equal to 0 here. I'll take that and put that in the begin function, since we'll always want to reset the score to 0 whenever we begin a new game. Another problem, it is a problem, which is that this is currently positioned at the same y value, so we need to position it at something like 600 to make it a bit lower, and let's set the x to actually 420. And of course that will display the text, but in order to add the functionality we'll go down here and add another if statement. If the keyboard key is pressed, which is going to be escape, we'll just say state is equal to menu. So we'll just set the state to menu, and that's all we need to do in order to transition to our menu. And yeah, with that we have got a main menu pretty much working in our game. So if I run this, you can see we get Asteroids, and it says press enter to play. I press enter, the game starts, the player can move around, and it works quite well. I can go ahead and shoot stuff like that, and if the game is over, the game actually this time was over because an asteroid spawned where the player was actually, so that's a bit of a problem which we'll fix in the future videos. But apart from that, you can see that the game is over. I can press enter and it would restart the game, and I'd be able to go ahead and like shoot asteroids like that, and the game was again over due to the same reason. But anyways, you can see that it now says press escape to exit to menu, and I press escape, it goes back to the menu, and it says press enter to play, and we can press that and it would play. Alright guys, this is pretty much it for this video. I'll see in the next one, in which we'll actually store the highest score of the player in a file in order to keep like a high score storage. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe as well, and share this video with other people, and I'll see you in the next one, and bye.